Hello, welcome to another fresh edition of Poly Playbook.
We're serving up all the hot action, cool plays,
and everything in between for Cal Poly Athletics.
I'm Connor McCarthy.
I'm Nate Edelman.
I'm Brian Strong.
Poly Playbook starts now.
Who do you think will win the Super Bowl this year?
I think the Patriots are going to win.
Hi, I'm Joe Schatz, and I'm here at Spanos Stadium.
I'm Megan Healy here at Staples Center.
Myself will be taking on Sierra Highland, best pitcher in Big West softball history. Let's see how this goes.
Tune in every week to Poly Playbook, right here on Mustang News.
Hello and welcome to another fresh edition and another year of Poly Playbook. We're serving up all the hot action, cool plays, and everything in between for Cal Poly Athletics. I'm Lauren Kozicki. Poly Playbook starts now. The #1 soccer rivalry in the nation lived up to the hype as the Cal Poly men's soccer team defeated the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos for the second year in a row in San Luis Obispo. Here's a look at all the highlights and action from the game. After the celebration dies down, Cal Poly will be preparing for a game against UC Davis on Wednesday, October 3rd at UC Davis. The Cal Poly football team hosted the 17th ranked Montana Grizzlies in a Big West Sky Conference game in Spanos Stadium. Cal Poly came in trying to defeat Montana for the 4th straight time, but after a pair of fumbles in the first quarter, Montana built a 31-7 lead at halftime and the Mustangs never recovered. Senior fullback Joe Prothero continued his hot streak, rushing for 139 yards and scored 3 of the team's 4 touchdowns. Sophomore slotback Drew Hernandez also added 135 yards, rushing on just 14 touches. But the Mustangs couldn't keep up with the Grizzlies and lost 48-28. The Mustangs will travel to Sacramento State to take on the Hornets on Saturday, October 6th. Last week, I got the chance to catch up with junior defensive back Carter Nichols before the game against Montana. Junior defensive back Carter Nichols is a key player for Cal Poly's defense. After a tough loss, he hopes the team will come back more focused.
Basically just doing your assignment, focus on what you have to do, and get all the outside influences in your life away from you when you're out here on the field, and try to stay focused on what we have to do in order to win.
Nichols suffered a season-ending foot injury last year, but after 4 games into the season, he feels healthy again.
I was a little worried that I wouldn't be able to run perfectly again or be able to sprint fully, because a lot of people told me it's hard to come back from that injury. But it feels great. Nothing's wrong with it anymore, and I'm happy to be back out here. It feels good to play again.
As an experienced player on the team, he advises the younger guys to stay focused on their position in the game and to take advantage of the opportunity.
Just seize the moment, just live it up. Try not to overthink it, because obviously you're going to be nervous when you start your first college football game or when you're out there for the first couple of times. I remember when I was out there for the first time, I was so nervous I almost didn't remember the first couple of drives. But it's just, you got to get yourself into the game, not overthinking, just play.
As the team gets prepared for Saturday's game against Montana, Nichols hopes Cal Poly will put out their best effort to take home a win.
One bad thing happens in the game or one thing goes wrong, kind of like last week happened, and just all turmoiled. Just try to keep playing, play the best of our abilities, and just give your best effort you can, honestly. That's the best thing we can do for each other, ourselves, and our coaches.
Lauren Kozicki, Mustang News. In the game against Montana, Nichols led the team with 7 tackles and had his second career interception. The red-hot Cal Poly volleyball team continued to dominate the competition, sweeping both of their opponents this weekend. The team started off the back-to-back games Friday night, sweeping CSUN for their 14th win of the season. The first set was the closest one as the two teams traded the lead back and forth until they were tied at 11 points. But then the Mustangs scored 5 straight and took control, and went on to defeat the Matadors 25-17, 25-16, and 25-17. Adley Van Winden added 10 kills and 12 digs on her way to her 4th double-double of the season. The next night, the team stayed hot, sweeping Long Beach State for their 15th win and 14th in a row. Long Beach started strong, but Cal Poly found a rhythm late in the first set, going on a 7-1 run to take a decisive lead. Cal Poly continued this pattern for the rest of the game, stopping Long Beach from getting close to winning even one set. In this game, it was Tori Van Winden who recorded the double-double with 13 kills and 14 digs. The Cal Poly volleyball team is now ranked number 13 in the nation, the highest they have been ranked since 2008 when that team started the season ranked number 10.
I love Sam Crossan. He's such a great coach, such a great dad, and he's really awesome. He honestly treats us like daughters, so it's really fun. And he really teaches everybody, like in every position, how to play, and it's really cool.
The ability to read and be able to make changes in match and continue playing at a high level of execution without being too high, too low emotion so far, we're seeing a lot of that. And I think the results are just simply a byproduct of all those things kind of tossed into a blender, and that's what comes out.
We want to go to the Sweet 16, we want to be a Final Four team, we want to compete for a national championship, so I think that's our never settle mentality.
The women's soccer team began Big West Conference play by hosting both CSUN and UC Davis Aggies this weekend. On Friday night, Sydney Horner scored the only goal of the game in the 53rd minute. Goalkeeper Sophia Brown recorded 6 saves, and Cal Poly shut out the Matadors 1-0. Then, on Sunday, Cal Poly freshman Mackenzie George took the first shot on goal of the game, but was unable to score. The Aggies took a 1-0 lead in the 29th minute. Then, in the second half, UC Davis scored and added another goal and went on to beat the Mustangs 2-0. Cal Poly is now 1-1 in Big West Conference play. The Mustangs are getting ready for a 3-game road stretch this weekend, starting at UC Riverside and followed by UC Irvine. Cal Poly's cross-country team competed at the Stanford Invitational on Saturday, earning one of the top 5 team scores at the meet. Miranda Dashinen and Justin Robinson each came in 11th place individually at the Invitational. Dashinen finished the 6K race in 21 minutes and 17 seconds, leading the women's team to 5th place with 139 points. Justin Robinson finished the 8K race in 24 minutes and 29 seconds, securing the men's team 4th place with 90 points. Cal Poly will compete in the Wisconsin Pre-Nationals on October 13th in Madison, Wisconsin. This week's Play of the Week goes to Diego Alonso, who scored the only goal in the blue-green rivalry match. Check it out. And now let's take a look at some of the upcoming games for the Mustangs. Football heads up north to take on Sacramento State on Saturday, October 6th at 6 p.m. at Sacramento State. Men's soccer will take on UC Riverside on Saturday, October 6th at 7 p.m. in Spano Stadium, and number 13 Cal Poly Volleyball will take on second place Hawaii on Saturday, October 6th at 7 p.m. in Mott Athletics Center. Well, that's all we have for Poly Playbook Sports Action this show. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms, or you can go on to mustangnews.net for continuous Cal Poly sports coverage. I'm Lauren Kozicki. Have a great rest of your week.